If you're looking for a pizza that you can make in 1 hour, then this is not the video for you. Better call Domino's, because you would be a fool to rush making pizza, because pizza is one of life's true joys, and I absolutely love pizza in all shapes and sizes, except pineapple on a pizza. Not too sure about that one. Let me know in the comments what your favorite toppings are. We're going to start by making a Neapolitan style pizza. I'm going to show you how to make a pre-ferment, and we're going to cold proof this dough and make it nice and fluffy. So I know a lot of you have been requesting pizzas, specifically user Goodnight Irene. I haven't forgotten about you. I told you I was going to make you some pizzas. We're going to do a whole series. So I'm going to show you how to make a bunch of different ones. Let's get making pizzas. This one is going to be delicious. So you've got 300 mils, just some basic water. Pour that in. And what we're doing is we're making a pre-ferment, which is known as a poolish in baking terms.
Add 5 grams of active dry yeast.
Just mix that yeast in. Hopefully it's still alive, should be. You know when you get yeast and it's just sat in your fridge a bit too long and you're not quite sure, so you got to check. And add some sugar, 5 grams, and then we've got 200 grams of bread flour and 100 grams of all-purpose flour. You can use 300 grams of bread flour, but I ran out, so I've just used this. You can also use all-purpose flour as well. Mix that in, nothing crazy. It's going to activate the yeast and the gluten, and it's going to start pre-fermenting. Make sure you get all the flour mixed in, because you'll see bits where it's not quite mixed in. You can already smell this kind of like funky yeast smell, which is a good sign. Then leave that for about half an hour, maybe an hour, room temperature, and then we'll put it in the fridge for at least 8 to 12 hours, preferably overnight. So you can see it's already bubbling up. It's been about an hour or so, and then now what we'll do is we'll put this in the fridge for it to have a little nap overnight. So this has been in overnight, the poolish. Just look at that, bubbly, alive. So we're going to get this into our flour and water. 525 mils of water, just regular tap water, or you can use filter. Then you're going to get your pre-ferment poolish. See those gluten strands there? That's why we want to do this. It might seem like, oh, you know, an extra step, but trust me, it makes a big difference. Makes it easy on the digestion, it's a lighter pizza. Get yourself a spatula, and then just work that in. Basically just trying to like dissolve it a little bit. And you're gonna need 2 more things, salt and flour. Now, type 00 farina, that's the flour you want for really good Neapolitana pizza. This is the Caputo Blue Label. Yes, you can use all-purpose. Maybe you can get away with using bread flour, but Caputo is really good, or any 00 you can get. For every 1 kilo of flour, very simply, you need 30 grams of salt. Don't use table salt. Sea salt or kosher is fine. Get your spatula, just work it through. Almost like you're folding it in almost. You're making a cake. At this stage, turn the mixture over so you get everything from underneath the bowl. Scrunch the dough together like that, lift it, and then scrunch. Technical term. We're not going to knead it yet, we're going to let it just chill out for a second. Let that relax just for a minute. Cover it, leave it for 10 minutes, and then we're going to knead it. It's been about 10, maybe 15 minutes. Shouldn't really need any more flour, so should be good with this.
We're just going to knead this dough back and forth like that. Nothing too crazy. Push it away, pull it back, and you know when it's done, when we can do our patented dough spank. So that was 5 minutes of kneading, then just put it in a bowl and cover it for about an hour. So after an hour, you can see it's puffed up quite nicely. Now what we're going to do is plot this out onto our counter, and we're going to shape it into our dough balls. A few little techniques for this, so I'll show you an easy one. If you get any bubbles like this, just give it a little So pinch off a piece of dough just like this, like you're making mozzarella, if you've ever made mozzarella, and just portion it out to 250 gram dough balls. That'll give you a nice, about a 12-inch pizza. You're going to work your way through, and then you're going to have one bit of dough left that's going to be bigger than the rest. So that'll make you about a 14-inch pizza. So once you've got all your dough balls there, just double check all your weights. Very nice indeed. And then just shape them round like this. Another technique you can use is keep folding the dough downwards to the same point at the bottom, so it's nice and tight. You're making all that tension. Pinch out the bottom, make a little round like this and pull it towards you if you like as well. Kind of like if you're making bread buns. And that's another way to make your dough balls round. Okay, work your way through. This is definitely my preferred method. Just keep tucking it in, tucking it in. You can see it's creating all that lovely tension, which is going to be the top part of your pizza. Okay, work your way through. Here you go, nice little pinch, pinch, pinch. And then you'll have all your dough balls done. You should get about 8 pizzas. Now, you can get a tray like this, cover it with a bit of olive oil, give it a brush, and you can bolt proof it by leaving a few inch gap in between. This is not my preferred method of doing it. I'll show you my preferred method. If you're going to do this method, you're going to need a piece of cling film, cover it with a nice bit of oil so it doesn't stick and dry out the dough balls, and then generously wrap this airtight in cling film, and then you can store that in your fridge, preferably for 2 days. More on that later. If you've got extra dough balls, just put them on a tray like this, bang them straight in the freezer, and they'll be nice and frozen. Put them in a Ziploc bag, knock out the air, label them, and then you have pizza dough for when you need them. Just pull them out the night before, leave them at room temperature, and they will proof. Now, my preferred method is this by far. Putting them in a greased container keeps the dough ball shape nice.
So that's in the fridge. I'm going to leave it there for 48 hours. You can let it go for 72. That is also super tasty as well. But 2 days is a good sweet spot.
Now that you've seen all the things that can go wrong, let's do this correctly. Okay, we're going to pull out our dough balls. They've been in for 48 hours, beautiful sweet spot, and I'm going to let them sit out on the counter for about an hour and a half. You can go up to 3 or 4 hours. You just want them relaxed so that you can stretch them. In the meantime, let's make the toppings. And I'm going to try this brand of tomatoes, which I've never tried before. I've heard good things. Open up the can of these, bang in a good generous amount of salt. I like a bit of pepper. Maybe it's not classical. Good extra virgin olive oil, and then give it little micro blitz, just to get it nice and chopped up. You don't want it super fine, you want little chunks. Give it a taste. Yep, I can confirm that Netflix documentary was true. These tomatoes are effing delicious. Get them if you can. Okay, pizza sauce done. Put that in your fridge in a container. Now I'm going to use fleur de latte, not buffalo mozzarella, because I find it's a little bit drier, not as wet, so it's really good. Cut it into nice slices and then nice little kind of wedges, I guess you could call it, or kind of like batons, that's the proper word. Set them aside in your fridge, and then we've got some nice meats here from the Italian supermarket, some prosciutto cotto, very nice ham, hope I pronounced that right. I'm sure I'll get slated on that in the comments. And then some lovely soprasata, which I absolutely love. It's got a nice little bit of spice to it. Have a cheeky taste, of course. Okay, once you've got your meat, set them aside in the fridge, covered of course, and get yourself a selection of good olives. Do not use those pre-sliced black ones you get in a tin. Absolutely shite. Next, we're going to grate some pecorino on the side of the grater that you always wondered, what the hell is this for? Well, now you know. And then we're also going to grate some aged parm. Set both of those aside covered, and all your prep is almost done for these lovely pizzas. And you're going to need some bench flour. I like using this semolina. You could use all purpose as well, or double O farina.
So there are the dough balls. You see, when you do it in a container like this, you get a good shape. So they're at room temperature, so they should be able to shape them pretty well. Okay, let's turn these out. Get making some pizza.
So the top of the dough ball is going to be a presentation side up. So sprinkle a bit of flour on top of that. Then just invert this, and if you've oiled it correctly, it should just plop out. Then turn it around to coat it in some of that semolina. Put a little bit on your board. Pick it up gently and just shake a little bit of the excess off and put it down on your board. You can use your little bench scraper to shape it around if you want to. Now start from the bottom. Push your way up, and you can see the air that you're pushing out towards the top of the pizza to make the crust, which is called the cornicione. So you keep going around like this, working it around all the different edges. You want about an inch gap for that crust. Flip that over and do the same thing on the other side. So you're just going to stretch that cornicione out nicely. Once you've got it about the size of your hand, flip that back over, so we're on the presentation side. Gently push out the cornicione around the edges there, and I'm going to show you how to stretch it. There's a couple of different ways. Now you can pull it with whatever hand I'm using there, that's my left. You pull and stretch out the dough, put it onto the palm of your opposite hand and do a quarter turn and put it back down on your board and keep going. The other way is this, it's the DJ method. You just do your hands in the opposite direction, making sure you don't squash the cornicione, the crust, and that's not a bad way either. But my preferred way is just put it over the back of your knuckles and let gravity do the work. Keep going around the edges and it will drag down and stretch your pizza for you. And once you've got it to about 10 inches or so, we'll do the rest later on the peel. Now, flour your peel. This is a good way to do it as you're starting, as you can see. And in one movement, go straight under, almost, and get it onto your peel like this. Make sure it's all good. Wipe off any excess from your board and underneath. And then just stretch it out a little bit so it's all nice and loose. And then you just put on your pizza sauce. You've got about 1 or 2 spoons. Don't dilly-dally here. You want to kind of act quick. Otherwise it makes things go soggy. We're going to put on a little bit of that Parmesan cheese, some basil, fresh basil, and then we're going to put on a nice handful of that fleur de latte. Now just stretch it out that last couple of inches. So just lift it up, pinch it and pull it. Give your peel a bit of a shake after you put on a bit of extra virgin olive oil, just to make sure it's nice and loose and not stuck, because if it gets stuck, it's going to be a bad day at the office. Get your uni up to temp. I think it was about 800 at 850. Turn it down and then launch it in one go and try not to take the pizza oven with you. And that's all you're doing. Now spec this up so you can see what happens. After 30 seconds, it's going to puff up, and then you're going to go in with your peel and then give it a turn, 180, and go back in on the other side. Some people do like quarter turns, but I like this method. And that's all you're doing. Keep an eye on it, 30 seconds, turn it in any other areas that you need to, and put it back in for about 10-20 seconds, and it should be done in about 90 seconds or so. You can hold it up to the flame on your peel if you want to cook the top a little bit more. Put it onto a rack and marvel at your first pizza that you just made.
Your first pizza is always a test one, so it can be a bit hit or miss, but this came out pretty good. Very, very nice. Classic Neapolitana. Let's get a cheeky slice, eh? Ooh. Look at that. Look at that cheese. Whoa. Okay. Cheers. It's a classic for a reason. Nice bit of charring on that one. Sometimes if you have a bit too much flour on the bottom of the pizza or semolina, it burns in the pizza oven. It's always a good day when pizza is being made in the house. Let's make a couple more.
So we're going to get another dough ball, put it in our semolina, get it onto the board, and the same as before, start from the bottom, keep pushing until you get to the top, go around the edges, develop the cornicione, give it a flip, repeat, and then once you get it to about the size of your hand, we're going to flip that over, and then we are going to stretch this out. Stretch this out using the back of your hands, just like we did before, and that should get it to around about the 10-inch size, and then you're going to go straight onto your floured pizza peel. If you're not confident doing it this way, just pick it up and put it on the peel. Okay, get on your sauce. We're going to put some pecorino. Then we're going to use some of those lovely olives that we had. Some of that prosciutto cotto. We're just going to rip it up. Don't overload the pizza because it will break. Nice bit of cheese, the fleur de latte. Stretch it out the last couple of inches. That's what she said. And then we're going to give the paddle a bit of a shake after a bit of oil to make sure it's nice and loose. And then we're going to launch that into the uni just like before. Preheat it to 850. And then we're going to turn the flame down and go straight in one spot and go in one movement and pull your peel right back. And just like before, it's going to puff up after 30 seconds. Get in there, give it a 180 flip. Keep an eye on it or your uni will burn your pizzas. Trust me, I've done it plenty of time. I find the trick with these is to preheat them for about 30 minutes before you're going to use them. And that gets you a real nice leapening on the bottom of your pizza. Okay, now I'm going to do one little turn, and if it's getting a bit too hot, you can move your pizza closer to you so it's not all the way at the back. It's a little hack that you can do with these just so that you're not nuking your pizza. And yeah, Ooni, they're really good. I recommend any of these pizza ovens. A lot of fun. You can do so many things in them. Okay, it's been about 90 seconds or so, and I'm pretty happy with that pizza. Now that is a goddamn delicious looking pizza. Not bad if I do say so myself. A little bit of practice and it works a treat.
If that does not get you excited, then you have problems, my friends. That's a good Neapolitana. Ooh, can't wait to get into that.
Now, this last pizza we're going to make is going to be a bit bigger because we had about a 300-ish size dough ball, maybe a little bit bigger. Same method before. This one I'm going to slap and fold a little bit and stretch it out with my knuckles. I'm going to get it to about 12 inches before I put it onto the peel. Nice little peel action and a little bit extra sauce because this is a little bit more of a big boy. And I'm going to load it up with all of the cheeses, pecorino, parmesan, load it all up. And then we're going to put our sopressata on there as well. And then we're going to put those sun-dried tomatoes that we made in our last video. Very nice indeed. Put a handful of fleur de latte, stretch it out the last couple more inches and add some extra virgin olive oil. Give your peel a little shake, make sure it's good, and then back into the uni. Straight in at the back, and then we're going to make sure that we turn this down. So we don't want to burn this pizza because it's bigger, so it's going to take a little bit longer to cook. Same as before, you're just going to go in there, make your turns, get it to where you want, and then it should be good to go. I'll crisp it up at the top a little bit more. And this pizza, my friends, is almost done. We're going to add a few cheeky little things. I'm going to put a few little chili seeds on there, not too much, and then some bomba. If you can get a hold of this, get it. It's absolutely delicious. It's like a bunch of vegetables pickled and spicy. Use some of that oil because it's like a chili oil. Drizzle it on top, scatter some basil, and look at that bad boy.
So there we have our final pizza. I mean, look at that. Spicy Italian, I think I'll call this one. Very nice indeed. Spin that round to see how light that is. So you want to put your pizza on racks. Don't put them on your board or just straight on the plate. They'll just get soggy and mushy. So put them on a rack, and then that's a good way to kind of cut and serve and then serve them up. So look at that. We've made 3 pizzas today, all different. This one obviously has been sat there. If you want to reheat your pizza, just take it, put it on a steel or a frying pan, bring it up to temperature, bottom will go crispy, put a bit of foil over the top and it'll heat it, or just put it under the grill, but don't burn it. Don't microwave it, it's not a good way to do it. Let's try one of these, shall we? Now you might be wondering why I'm using scissors. I find for like Neapolitan, it's good to cut it with the scissors because traditionally you'll get this pizza in a restaurant just with a knife and fork and they won't cut it up. So I find it's good to just get yourself some scissors and cut yourself a cheeky little slice. Okay. If you like spicy, this is the one. Hopefully this gives you a few ideas of a few different types of pizzas you can make. But these are delicious. Give them a go. So if you like pizzas and content like this, then please like, comment, and subscribe. Helps me out and helps to blow up this channel so I can make plenty more lovely things for all you guys. Let me know your favorite toppings out there. Okay, time to enjoy a slice of this. I'll catch you all on the next one.